Let's dive right into this explainer. It's easy to think that being a great CAD professional is just about drawing precise lines, but honestly, it's so much more than that. Welcome. Today, we're zooming out to look at the essential and often totally overlooked foundations of computer aided design. We all spend a ton of time mastering software commands, sure, but to actually survive and thrive in this industry, you absolutely need a holistic approach. We're talking about mastering your tools, managing your files like a pro, understanding your legal responsibilities, and critically, protecting your own physical health. So here is our agenda to build your professional foundation from the inside out. 1. The CAD software ecosystem. 2. File management. 3. Laws and licensing. And 4. Ergonomics and workspace safety. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the CAD software ecosystem, or as I like to call it, building your digital engine. When we think of CAD, our minds usually go straight to the primary application, right? Things like AutoCAD, DraftSite, or LibreCAD. That is your main tool for creating those precise 2D technical drawings. But here's the thing, your CAD software relies entirely on a whole stack of supporting software to actually work smoothly and safely. Without this supporting cast, your primary app is literally just a parked car. You need a robust engine running under the hood, and that includes your operating system, graphics drivers, file managers, PDF viewers, and of course, critical security software. Right at the bedrock of this stack is your operating system. Whether you're running Microsoft Windows, which, let's face it, is the most common for CAD, or Mac OS, the OS is that vital interface between you, the actual hardware, and your CAD software. It's the ultimate boss managing all those hardware resources. So ensuring total compatibility between your chosen CAD software and your OS, that is absolutely step one for stable performance. Okay, once your OS is dialed in, we've got to talk about how things actually look on your screen. Graphics drivers are basically the crucial translators between your CAD software and your computer's GPU, your graphics processing unit. Have you ever had a massive, complex 3D model just stutter or freeze when you're trying to zoom in? Yeah, that is usually a driver issue. When you're panning across crazy complex geometries, having updated drivers prevents those annoying display glitches, boosts your rendering performance, and just ensures your whole system stays stable. And rounding out our digital engine is security. Guys, employing robust antivirus software is not optional. In a professional setting, your drawings are incredibly valuable assets. They represent weeks, maybe even months of hard work. This software is what protects your system's integrity and secures your CAD files from malware, cyber threats, and just totally devastating data loss. It is all about ensuring the absolute reliability and safety of your project data. Moving right along to Section 2, Mastering CAD File Management. This is all about protecting your hard work. To do that, you need to know your file types intimately. We basically break these down into two camps, native formats and output formats. Native CAD files, like .dwg for your main drawings and .dwt for templates, well, those are your working files. They hold all the editable geometry, the layers, the annotations, the whole shebang. But when it's time to share that work with a client who definitely doesn't have CAD installed, you switch to output formats. Things like .pdf or design web format, .dwf. These make it effortless for stakeholders to view, print, and review your work. Now, there is a really vital distinction we need to make between two very specific formats. The .dwg is your main native drawing format heavily used by software like AutoCAD. But the .dxf, that stands for Drawing Exchange Format, and it's specifically designed to be a universal translator. It allows drawings to be shared and actually maintain compatibility across entirely different CAD platforms. Knowing exactly when to use which, that is a true hallmark of a CAD professional. Okay, we have all felt that awful stomach drop when an application crashes and you suddenly realize you haven't saved in hours. It's the worst. To prevent that kind of devastating data loss and to actually track your progress, you need to adopt these version control best practices immediately. Step 1 is a no-brainer: save regularly. But step 2 is where the pros really separate from the amateurs. Use incremental versions. Tag your files with V1, V2, or Final so you can always step back to previous work if you need to. And step 3, I highly recommend using the Save As function to create these new versions. That way, you never accidentally overwrite your original baseline files. Take those saving habits and combine them with a super clear, consistent file naming convention. We're talking project name _ drawing title _ version _ date. Simple, right? By standardizing your file names like this, finding files later becomes incredibly efficient, you drastically cut down the risk of losing work, and it makes teamwork and collaboration within an organization completely seamless. Next up, Section 3, Essential Laws and Licensing, basically the rules of the game. So specific legislation regulates exactly how you have to work and handle digital assets. Take data protection laws, for example, like South Africa's PIOPI. That means you are legally required to securely handle any client or student information stored in your project files. Then there's copyright and intellectual property laws. These dictate that original drawings belong to the creator, which makes plagiarism illegal and strictly prevents unauthorized copying. And finally, computer misuse and cybercrimes legislation. This actively penalizes hacking and is there to protect your systems from anyone unauthorized trying to access or modify your drawings. But beyond those broad laws, you also have very specific contracts to worry about. Software licensing agreements are legally binding terms that define exactly how your CAD software can be used. And please remember, violating your CAD software licensing agreement, like say using a free educational license for commercial paid work, that is legally considered piracy. Users absolutely must comply with these terms because violations can lead to severe legal penalties and pretty much ruin your professional reputation. And finally, we arrive at Section 4, Ergonomics and Workspace Safety, Protecting the Drafter. That's you. Proper ergonomics is all about designing the workspace to suit you. The ideal setup keeps your screen directly at eye level to avoid any neck strain. Your elbows and knees should be right at 90-degree angles, your back needs to be fully supported, and your feet should be resting perfectly flat on the floor. Maintaining this specific posture is absolutely crucial because it prevents career-threatening conditions like chronic back pain, shoulder tension, and RSI, or repetitive strain injuries. And hey, it is not just your back and wrists, it's your eyes too. If you have ever ended a long day with a massive headache from staring at CAD lines on a monitor, you need to implement the 20-20-20 rule. It goes like this. Every 20 minutes, force yourself to look at something at least 20 feet away for exactly 20 seconds. Alongside this, make sure to adjust your screen brightness to kill the glare, and I know it sounds silly, but remember to blink regularly so your eyes don't get dry and fatigued. Of course, your physical equipment needs to support this posture. Using a proper ergonomic keyboard and mouse setup helps keep your wrists completely straight when you type or click. And a pro tip, place the mouse close to the keyboard to help you avoid extending your arm and overreaching. Using equipment that is actually designed for natural hand positioning goes a long way in preventing devastating overuse injuries like carpal tunnel syndrome and chronic wrist pain. Finally, please don't neglect your physical surroundings. Your working environment plays a massive role in your safety. Just practice basic electrical safety. Never overload your power sockets. Keep liquids far, far away from your expensive equipment and double check that your cables aren't damaged. Keep walkways totally clear of those cables so nobody trips. Honestly, just maintaining a comfortable temperature and ensuring adequate room lighting will significantly reduce fatigue, stress, and the risk of physical accidents in your workspace. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I actually want to challenge you to take a look at yourself right now. Are you sitting with proper posture as you listen to this? Seriously, check your shoulders and tell me, when was the very last time you incrementally backed up your CAD files? Evaluate your own workspace today, right now, and make the necessary adjustments to ensure a safe, legal, and highly professional drafting career. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.